What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career and business into a life of freedom. And speaking of freedom, we have lots of it today because we have no guest, and therefore we are off the chain and out of our minds as usual. I'm coming off of 2 hours of podcasting and recording with Jeff Cohn, Jeff Quinton, Greg Harrelson, some real power players. So I've been having a lot of fun this morning. Greg, you did your morning motivation, and so I know that you are in the zone. And so we've got we're taking your questions. We're going to take questions from the lead gen scripts and objections group. We're going to be talking about prospecting, door knocking, calling. What should a new agent do? Which one or the other, or both, or all three, or 17 things, or whatever. So we've got a bunch of stuff to get into, as we always do. And the junior grandmaster himself is in the co-pilot seat where he so belongs. Greg McDaniel, what's up today?
Orale vato, Johnson face. Dude, I was just talking to a friend of ours, a viewer of the show, and they were telling me that they just went to Stagecoach and had an epic time, and I told them, like, I want to go to Stagecoach. Like, that's one of my bucket lists. Okay. And she was like, well, next time I get tickets for something like that, I'm going to tell you to get your butt on the plane and come down. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I will listen to what you tell me to do. Yeah, because I would love to go to that, dude. I listened to it all weekend, like on satellite radio, and it just sounded like people were just having an epically awesome time. And she was saying, like, dude, epic isn't even a word to come even close to describe what the experience was like. I'm like, I want to go. Okay. So that is now a new bucket list that I shall go to, and I really look forward to it because I think it's going to be awesome, man. And it's you know how unique it is that, like, a lot of the times when we don't really think about it, but how much impact we have with the people that watch these shows. And
that's crazy.
It's so much fun to talk to people that like have been listening to us for a while, and they give me a call and we talk, and it's just like, whoa, like, you picked up the phone and called me. I'm like, well, yeah, dude. I mean, that's the whole point. And so it's just one of those things that we're just blessed beyond words with the awesome people that listen to us. So for all of you guys, thank you. You guys are amazing. You make my day, you make Matt's day, and we want to bring some questions. So bring questions, guys. We want to answer them. This is where Matt, if he doesn't get it right, he's going to be, bound to washing your car for 3 Saturdays in a row, and he'll pay for plane flights. So.
Oh, well, interesting. Well, if somebody's taking me to Stagecoach, maybe, but not otherwise. All right, but you make a very, very valuable point, Greg. Just because it's not just like the phenomenon that we experience from doing the show, where agents call us up or get on the phone with us, and we find out they've been watching or listening for 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case is, and they're surprised that we're on the line with them. That same thing happens to you in your individual agent business when you put out content consistently, whether it's by sending videos to your database by email or whether it's doing Facebook Lives. Obviously, we recommend both. Greg, you do both a viral marketing and you do your own Facebook Lives. But I was talking to a mentor of mine, Pasquale, who's been on the show before, and we're going to get him back on in the very near future to talk about prospecting, tracking, and goal setting. And he said something interesting to me about a month ago. He said when he makes phone calls now to people that are kind of in his network, he's in the recruiting space, and so he'll call up a recruiter, and they're like, "Why are you calling me?" He's like, "What do you mean?" "Well, you're famous."
What?
Seriously, like, people will react that way, like the Pasquale, like you picked up the phone and you called me, like, I get your videos, like, you're famous, why are you calling me? And it's an interesting phenomenon. Like, you can have that same effect. It doesn't take much. I mean, a couple of videos to your database per month and some Facebook Lives, done consistently. I think that's when people talk to me about, like, just kind of watching the show from the outside in, they always talk about, like, how consistent we are about the content that we put out. They don't catch every episode, and that's okay. They're not watching the whole thing, and that's okay. But that kind of consistency does something to people. It creates trust. It creates credibility and authority. It builds the relationship with them, even if they're not watching or listening to every single one. And guys, that's why we tell you to go live on Facebook and do it consistently, because it's not about whether you have 1,000, 1,500, 5,000 views per Facebook Live. At some point, just the act of doing it conveys the sense that you are active, busy, professional, knowledgeable, and expert at what you do. And it shows that you are reliable and consistent and trustworthy just by doing it consistently day in and day out, like we do with the show.
Yeah, and it's something that like your competitors aren't doing it, and we've talked
Yeah.
about this so many times on this show in the past that like every day you're not doing something live, you're not doing IG live or IG stories, you're not doing live on Facebook, you're not going on to Twitter and going live, there. Um, you're growing a gray hair, when it comes to the social media realm. You've
Right.
got to be building a content library because when we started the show, Matt was very adamant that we were not going to run ads, which we are going to change at some point. We will run ads to gain a larger audience, or just expose us to new people.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that we've built a content library where people can go back and watch these shows and get information. I was talking with a lady. I don't think I've told you this, Matt. And she was speaking with me earlier this week, and she was saying that like she's number one in her office because of the podcast and because she implemented what we are doing, and I'm actually going to get her booked as a success story on the show here relatively soon, because she really went out and put stuff into action. Matt and I, we don't just sit here and pontificate and fart and smell our own farts. And, ooh, man, that was a good idea. No.
Well, to be fair, there is a little bit of that going on occasionally when.
But my point is that
that sounded really good.
my point is the fact that like we genuinely want to bring good content because we have it up in our ears and we're constantly searching out new content. So for you guys, as people that are watchers of the show, listeners of the show, go be a student of the business and go bring valuable information to the general public. My other co-host, since Matt's been cheating on me for years with other podcasts, I can't bear the thought anymore. I am starting. If you guys can't see him, Matt's just grinning from ear to ear and shaking his head. But I have a co-host, Tiffany. She and I are starting a legit radio show on a really big talk show station here in the Bay Area because I want to talk to the consumers, right? I want to bring value to the consumers so that I can get referral leads, and I want to build up my EXP team. Tiffany's going to join my EXP team. And so that's just stepping it up to another level, but it's just thinking at a larger scale. So for you guys, how can you think at a larger scale so you can get more eyeballs on you? Matt and I did the show 3 years ago going, we have no idea if someone's going to listen to us. We had no clue, but we knew we loved to fuck around together. We knew that we found ourselves very funny. So we thought maybe someone else might find us funny. And so then we started to bring content out there.
That's right. Paul Franklin says, no wonder Matt happily keeps hundreds of miles between you two. That is 100% true, Paul. You have no idea. Greg definitely is happiest in his box.
I am not, Johnson.
But yeah, they make who was it that said this here in the comments, that celebrity
it changed because of the internet.
Celebrity has changed due to interactive media, and Paul is exactly right. So you have it used to be back in the day that you would do things like, set up an 800 number or have a pay by the hour assistant to answer your phone calls if you wanted to appear like bigger than you really are. Now, if you want to appear bigger than you really are, it's very, very easy. Hop on Facebook Live or Instagram Stories and just start broadcasting live and share what you're learning, what you're doing, what you know, and that will take care of that. Like, it will make you a mini celebrity within your social circle, whatever that social circle is. So anyway, Nick Saka says everybody loves their own brand. That's true. Yes, we do love to pontificate sometimes, and that's okay. But speaking of pontificating, I want to pose this particular question because I've had issues with this in the past. And if you've been in business for longer than 30 seconds, you probably have too, if you've ever taken a listing. RNA says sometimes Greg belongs in a box, locked and hidden. That is absolutely true. Okay, so here's the question that I would like to pose to you, Greg. This is from Oleg on the Lead Gen Description Objections group. He says, do you share negative feedbacks on your listings with your client? And if so, how?
Okay,
I can share how this got me in trouble, and maybe Greg, you can tell me what I did wrong. But go ahead.
I would love the opportunity to chastise you in public. So please show us what you did wrong, and then I will pick it apart like a piranha on a bone.
Okay. So when I first got into the business, I took an expired listing. It was a couple in their late 20s. It was the first home they bought. They'd never sold a home before, so they were about as raw as you can get, right? They're not first-time buyers, but first-time sellers. And I gave them a laundry list of things that they needed to correct before we put the home on the market. They chose not to do 90% of them because they were lazy and they had already moved in their new house and just didn't want to bother. So I said, okay, well, these things are going to potentially present some issues because you've got buyers coming through and you've got this laundry list of things that's wrong with the house because you have 2 kids and, like it looks beat up.
Well, I
didn't say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like I basically said like, hey, these are the things that I see as being an issue that buyers are going to bring up. And sure enough, like we had buyers come through. I followed up. I got the feedback. I basically just passed along the feedback. I said, here's what this particular buyer said. And I didn't embellish. I didn't add my 2 cents to it. I just told them exactly what the feedback was that I got from the buyers who toured the house. They flipped the F out on me.
I can imagine. Yeah, that's okay.
Yes.
And did they blame you for not pointing it out, or did they blame you for? What did they blame you for?
Pure and total guilt by association. It was strictly kill the messenger. They had nothing. They could say nothing about whether it was true or not. They knew it was true. They could say it wasn't that I didn't advise them to change it because they knew I did. I think they were upset because I was right. I was proven right. They basically wanted to take the chance. They didn't make the improvements I recommended, and then a buyer called them out on it. And they were upset at me because I was the one that told them in advance, and then it turns out I was right. So anyway, that led to a whole that caused some issues because then when we actually did get an offer, they wanted to get out of there so badly through the review process of looking over the offer that they didn't notice or they didn't pay attention when I explained some of the things that the buyers wanted included in the house, conveniently forgot about it, then got pissed at me when they had to leave their swing set behind that they had already left behind and didn't bring to their new house. So it set off a very bad chain of events. But the point is, should I have framed it differently? Could I have improved how I delivered that negative news? Should I have sheltered them from the bad news and kept it to myself, given that they already decided not to make those improvements? I mean, what could I have done differently?
Well, it first comes down to your relationship that you have with these people. How open and transparent did you have? I mean, what was that relationship like, right? Second off, you'd set them up for the opinions that will be coming through. Say, hey, look, we may be getting opinions from other buyers. I just want you to be ready for them. This is what I suggested. I know that if you decided not to do it, and that's totally okay. We've discussed this as a team. But we may hear other points of view. Do you want me to tell you what I hear, or do you want me to keep it to myself? What would you like me to do?
Right.
Then if they do say yes, well, they're probably going to say, well, yeah, tell us. Well, yes, then that's the permission-based. Then that's when if you don't tell them, they'll be even madder. But then when you tell them and they lose their marbles, you say, whoa, guys, you asked me to tell you. This is not my opinion. This is what other people are saying. That's going to affect our purchase price ultimately down the road. So, just take a breath, pump the brakes. I'm on your team. Team us, go team seller. But you can't be mad at me because I have a relationship with you. One of the things that we do, it's not really me at all. It's Chris. He has a marketing group with a bunch of agents from different brokerages. About 25 of them get together, and every time anyone has a new home come on the market, everyone else goes out to that home. They preview it. They answer a sheet full of questions: price, condition, where they think the price should be, so on and so forth. And then each of our agents, take those stack, and given if the seller wants the information or doesn't want the information, then they go take it and they show it to the seller. And so, if you have a house on, we had a house on the market, we just sold it. We had it on for $1,750,000, something like that. $1,700,000. West Side Alamo, big lot, really good area, yada yada. I mean, $3 million homes literally across the street. But this is an older, 1900s home. It was built in the 1900s. It was a quirky ass fucking place.
That'd be old. That'd be old.
That'd be old. Yes, many moons ago.
Many moons.
But it was funky, bro. And the seller looked at Zillow, fucker, and said, "Well, my home says sell for $1.9 million." Yes, sir. If it wasn't dated back to the dawn of time, yes. And
if you made any improvements since 1969. He
literally had an old. It felt like you're in Disneyland in the backyard, not in a good way. Felt like you're in the Wild West. part of Disneyland where they have like old rusted train tracks going into a fake mine, like old lanterns hanging around. It's funky. And Chris got all of the opinions from everyone, and they all said it should be around $1.4 million to $1.5 million. And I'm like, $1.4 million, $1.5 million? Yeah, I could totally see that. That would be a fair price for that home in that location. It sold for $1,525,000. And they didn't hear that for months at a time because they had their egos involved. Finally, the seller goes, okay, I'll bring the price down. Brought the price down, sold.
Yeah.
But it's setting them up front. I always talk about this. Forget about closing people. Set them up with the proper expectations. Mm-hmm. Therefore, they won't be upset with you on the backside when you have to make a pivot.
Right.
That's all. Or if they hear negative information, or if they get their feelers hurt, or whatever else. They already knew it was coming. Okay? They already knew it was coming. It's that easy. So I don't think
so Arne is watching with us live and says, I can tell your kid is ugly and you'll still love me. I'm glad for you, Arne. I'm glad you have more people skills than I do. If I told someone their kid was ugly, I would mean it and I would get punched. And then Paul Franklin says, I start every listing presentation by asking if we have permission to be brutally honest with each other. You may not like me when we're done, but I'll have done what I told you I would. And that is a good way. Yeah, I don't know about the word brutally. That depends on the rapport that you have with people. But telling them that, do I have this is my style. I tend to be more blunt, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Would you like me to tell you what I believe and be completely and totally honest with you? I think that's a great way to go. Chad Caseman says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Chad, watching from Omaha. We appreciate it. And I think I don't remember how I set these folks up. I mean, obviously I could have set them up better. I think people are going to react emotionally at some point in the transaction anyway, no matter how well you set them up. But depending on how you set them up, I think it's a lot easier to bring them back from that emotional reaction and not allow it to poison the rest of the relationship, as long as you position it up front a little bit better. And that's probably what I did not do because I was a young agent.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, Matt. I mean, what I say with people when I set them up in the very beginning, Matt, Julie, you're 3 obese, little wood denting, insulin sucking little baby trolls. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait to work with you guys. But, you're going to love me in the beginning, you're going to hate me somewhere in the middle, and then you're going to love me in the end. And the reason why I say that, one, I make it light and funny and, blah, blah, blah. But I also let them know that there's going to be a hard time somewhere in this transaction. I've never had a transaction where there wasn't emotions didn't get heightened or spiked at some point over some things. Ego comes into play, interspousal or fighting or disagreements come into play, which then spills over into the deal. Mm-hmm. And then once things come to a head, I say, so guys, is this when you hate me? Is this the time that you hate me? Remember I talked about that? They're like, no, we don't hate you. And it diffuses the situation. Mm-hmm. So that then we can move forward with getting the deal done. I mean, I told this to a guy, one of my clients that he lost his marbles on me. I mean, he was going through a divorce. He was, just a whole ton of things were hitting him all at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. And he called me up specifically afterwards, and he was like, "Dude, thank you so much for keeping my head on straight. Thank you for keeping me going the right direction. I love the house. My girls love the house. I'm so glad I bought it. This is going to be a great place for me." But emotion can blind the cognitive mind because we get so energized about something when in reality you just made a huge mountain over a molehill.
Right. And
you didn't need to take it to that level. I mean, Matt yells at me all the time over things. I feel like a beaten housewife. It's horrible. I just try to make the show good, man. I just try to make the show good.
Look what you made me do, Greg. Look what you made me do.
Again.
Right. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to this question. Tatiana Sadul, in the lead gen description group, says, do you hire someone to make your advertising materials, flyers, social media marketing, website, etc., or do you use apps to create them? I would love to start, first of all, Greg, with your really kick-butt high-end flyers that you produce for your million and multi-million-dollar listings. What's the process for you guys when you take on a new listing, and how are you guys outsourcing that?
Well, that's an Eileen question, and she's probably listening. So I'm calling you out, Eileen Landon, the steel trap. She's like, oh, shit, I'm here.
I know that she puts it together. I get that part, but you guys use an outside printer. they're using templates that are already
All
built
access.
for you guys.
Yeah, we use a program called All Access. We go in there and we order what flyer we want. Do we want what template? Then they come out, they do all the photos. Eileen does the write up. They put the write up there. We get it clarified with the sellers that they like it. Eileen's boxering me right now.
Wow, she is the steel trap.
But once we get it approved, we get it printed. We get about either 50 to 100 flyers. We put the flyers in at the house, and that's how it is. It's really pretty easy. You don't have to overthink it. EXP, they have a bunch of marketing templates that agents can use. A lot of good newer brokerages have ghostwriters that you could utilize. There's just a lot of different options. You don't have to sit there and write. If you're like, I'm not a good writer, very admittedly. And so if I was on my own as an agent, I would probably go to Upwork or Fiverr or something like that and have someone write a description for me.
For the love of God, yes.
Looks like a third grader, writes when I do things. That's why I do voice to text. Actually, Matt, I was on a date last week, and the gal I went out with, she's a copywriter. Like, she's a legitly awesome copywriter, right? And she didn't know I had dyslexia or ADHD. Thank God we brought that topic up, because I'm like, you probably thought I was a bumbling idiot and just a knuckle dragger that was drooling, didn't you, because of my misspellings and my bad grammar. She's like,
Did come up.
Yeah. And I'm like, I have dyslexia and ADHD. She was like, oh, sorry. I'm like, who?
See, isn't it such a relief to know that you're not dumb, Greg? You just have a handicap. That's okay.
But I don't get the handicap pass, Matt. I can't park up front.
Very sad. And so, how good would it be to just walk in right from Trader Joe's, right up front? Okay.
I can't spell, so I need to park up front. I can't spell parking lot.
Exactly. So going back to the advertising and marketing materials. So Greg, you have that service that does the flyers. You already have your brochures, like those are printed up in bulk. The brochures for your team, your actual packet and stuff like that you take into your listing presentation. On the other questions of things like social media marketing, Canva is great for that. That's where I would look to for any graphics that you need to build for social media, because they have the sizes built into Canva, so that you can just pull up a size and start making graphics away. And for the most part, it's free unless you pick some sort of like premium photo that they have loaded in, which you can usually buy for $1. And then on the website, Greg, you guys have one that you've always used and have used for a long time for your guys' website that starts off super affordable. We've had their marketing director on the show before, Placer. And so I know that's typically the one that you recommend. So if you're an agent, go to Placer as far as setting up like a brand new website. But if you do have the money and I would just use Placer to get something basic set up. But anything beyond that, I would hire somebody else to set something up. If you want something that just looks different, or if you want to use Placer to make it look better, and that's just not, unless you are like I had a previous life as a web developer and designer, just not the best use of your time.
No, it's really not. If you guys really want to get to a next level and you want to get some people that have to do work, go to your local college or junior college, go to the marketing department or, something along those lines, and see, who has to do an internship. Have them come on, have them do some work for you. Dude, young minds will think at things that you've never thought of before, or ways you could use or reuse different pieces of information, or how to change a brand or do something like that. And it's not going to cost you anything because they have got to do internships. I was just talking to one of my coaching clients. I was telling them this. I'm like, dude, go to the local college, tell them what you need done, see who needs the internship work, and then get some work done for free. Basically, it's slave labor. If I can say it, or that just might be my dyslexia kicking in. We're not quite sure. It's transferring over my verbiage now. I'm screwed. I'm talking backwards now. Great.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about home valuation leads for a second. So Jason Morgan says he's using a home valuation website for generating seller leads. What follow-up has been successful? He says he just signed up for one and has leads coming in, but is struggling to find the most effective way to convert. And we actually train an entire ISE team on how to do this, so we have a lot of experience in this. So let's spend a few minutes on this, because this is something where if you do have a website, this is kind of where most people, unless it's directly generating, they either do one of two things. When they get a website, they either go directly after buyer leads, or they go down the path of generating seller leads, and they usually have the same problem with both, which is that how in the heck do I convert these into actual clients? Let's talk a little bit about converting home valuation leads, because Greg, you guys use these and have used them for years with CoreFact, where you're sending out mailings and they're going to a website, and so you guys have not only leads coming in, but you've got years and years worth of these old leads, people that are continually checking into the system, and you get notifications, and so you're following up with these guys. So what do you find is, just go with the basics of what's effective for converting a home valuation lead.
So what I'm using now is Agent Legend. There's another one called Agentology. I think it's Agentology. But Agent Legend is what I do is when a lead comes in, it instantly, within seconds, goes directly to a missed call from me with a recorded voicemail in my voice. Then it gets an email 10 minutes later. Then it gets a text message 15 minutes later, all in my voice that I pre-recorded. They send out. They have a 3-day follow-up, and then they have a drip campaign with my voice that hits people every once in a while, about once a month or once every other month. So it instantly gets follow-up there. And once they respond, or like they respond to the text or an email or a call, the system stops responding to them. I take over the responding at that point. But what that does for me is that it totally takes away my responsibility to be Johnny on the spot watching what's going on. Because none of us have that time to just be staring at our inbox or staring at our alerts. If we're in a meeting or a listing appointment or showing a house, it's not the nicest thing on earth if you're like, so Matt, Julie, here's your dining room. Oh, hold on. Greg Mcdaniel, McDaniel Callahan, team world's greatest real estate agent. How can I help you? Oh, yes, I see you responded there. Okay, that's fantastic. Let's talk about it right now. No, Matt, Julie, you guys go ahead and go look at something. I got to take this. Well, all of a sudden, Matt and Julie are like, well, fuck this guy. You can't do that. You got to have automated systems. And Matt, I'm not breaking out in hives. I said systems.
Well, yeah, you love systems when they're automated. You don't have to do anything.
I know. It's awesome. It's beautiful. But I mean, I'm working with a couple of people right now on all these lead generation, and we're getting people to respond using Agent Legend. So I ran into the founders of the Lab Coat group down at the San Diego Association, and I was talking with them in front of the Agentology booth, and some of the stuff that Agentology is doing is fucking epic shit, dude. Like, I got to take a seriously strong look at what these people are doing, but it's also setting a team up around you. Thank you, Howard. He's like, systems. You're trying to get me sick, Howard. But I mean, it's having the people around you as well to do the stuff you can't do. So if you have if you have an Eileen, the steel trap that can help you with the follow-up, because she does a lot of the other lead generation systems that we use. She'll remind me like, hey, Greg, here's a realtor.com lead. Hey, Greg, here's a HomeLight lead. Hey, Greg, here's a blah, blah, blah lead. And I'll reach out to them and, go from there. But she makes sure that I see what's going on in the emails. Because I'm really not good at email response. Everything gets lost in email. Everybody wants to respond in email. It's just too much. That's why I always say, hit me up on Facebook, Facebook Messenger. I will see that. Hit me up on a text. I will see that.
Right.
So that's why I like Agent Legend is that they come through my text. I get the responses into my text, so I can immediately respond back to them, and that makes it very easy for me to do. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm doing.
All right. Well, I'll throw this out there. So one of the things that we noticed in coaching this ISA team last year, when basically 80% of their job was following up on home value leads, and what we noticed is that they were too quick to do two things. Number one, get off the line without asking open-ended questions that actually got the homeowner to open up to them. So that was number one. Number two, they were too quick to go for the appointment when the homeowner did express any interest, and they didn't really get any agreement from the homeowner that they needed the thing that was offered by the agent coming out to them and showing up. Like, we know what the agent gets out of it. The agent wants to meet with you because they want to list your house. Mm-hmm. What they didn't do a great job of is setting up the homeowner to understand why that was important to meet with the agent before they asked for the appointment. They would often get the order of those flipped around, and they would ask for the appointment, and then they would say a paragraph of words. It would start by asking for the appointment, and then they would explain why the appointment is important, if they explained it at all. And we just basically said, look, that needs to be flipped around. You need to prepare and get their agreement that they need the thing that you're even offering before you tell them how to get it, which is the appointment.
Yeah.
And so if there's anything that will probably increase your lead conversion on those home value leads right away, it's number one, make sure that you're asking questions that get the homeowner to open up and talk about their situation and be genuinely curious to see if you're right for them. And number two, when they do express interest and you feel like the next step is to get that appointment with them, start by explaining what the next step is and why it's important, not going for the appointment so quickly. You explain why you explain the benefit of it, then tell them, okay, the appointment is how we do that, right? And so what we drilled them on is, hey, it sounds like the next step for you is you really need accurate numbers and a good sense of what your home might sell for in today's market so you can make a good decision, right? Yes. Okay, well, the way that we do that is like what we sent you over online is just kind of an estimate based on, algorithms and computer estimates and all this stuff. What really needs to happen is we've got to see the inside of your house to see all the wonderful changes and upgrades that you've made over the years. Would you mind if I came out tomorrow and actually took a quick peek at the house? That way I can run and give you some real numbers that you can use to make a good decision. That's how you prep them for an appointment. That way you tell them what the benefit is up front before you tell them how to get the benefit. And so that will make a huge difference.
Yeah, Bernice Ross had an awesome, script for that. Instead of doing a CMA or a market update or anything else like that, her verbiage is, let's do an equity checkup. Have you gotten an equity checkup report lately on your home? And people were like, what? And so an equity checkup report, I thought that was such a good use of verbiage there because, that makes it sounds kind of like a doctor appointment, but we're talking about the equity that you have in your home, and it's something that they haven't heard before, and so they're more apt to like a pattern interrupt where they're like, whoa, what is this? So try an equity checkup report. That would be an awesome opportunity to start using that verbiage and just start using it when you just talk to people anywhere when you're talking to folks.
Oh, awesome. And Leslie is watching and says she's got this streaming in her office, which thanks for that, by the way, Leslie. She said she already used that equity checkup this week. Mind blown. Well, you have Bernice Ross to thank for that, and of course the show as well. So keep listening and watching the show because we bring amazing people like Bernice on who shares mind blowers like that. Let's talk about this before we sign off.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Guys, let's when we're talking about mind blowing, let's talk about this, guys. If you guys want to join EXP, I want you to go right now to bookmcdaniel.com after the show. It's right there if you're watching this live, big old block letters, bookmcdaniel.com. Go book 30 minutes with me. If you guys like what we're putting out, if you feel that what we bring is valuable, I want you on my EXP team if you guys are going to be switching over. End of story. We bring a lot of value. A lot of people are out there recruiting, but we have a huge back end, kind of like a Kim Kardashian back end.
All right.
Big. Large and in charge. A lot of value that we're going to give you besides what EXP is going to give you. So go to bookmcdaniel.com, book time, get on my team, stop fucking around. Okay, back to the regular scheduled program, man.
All right, fantastic. I like it. All right. Giovanni says, I'm having trouble cold calling leads. It's from a service that sends you a list of people that have a high possibility of listing. Sound familiar, Greg? I've been getting brain blocks. Any suggestions or credit scripts that have worked for you? And I say that because, Greg, your family is in the analytics and predictive analytics business. You guys are one of the first ones, if not the first one, to really come out with that. And yeah. So anyway, you've done these calls. You've knocked on the doors. You've made the calls. You've done it all. So how can someone get over this brain block? They don't have any idea that you're calling. All it is that you have a list of people that have a high probability of listing in, let's say, the next, 90 to 180 days.
Okay, so this is a script that you can use that I've developed for divorces, and I've also developed for outbound cold, reaches to people in a highly predictive environment. And it's this, ring, ring. Matt, we'll run the script right now, okay?
Okay.
Ring, ring, ring.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Matt?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, my name's Greg McDaniel. I'm a local real estate agent in the area. Hey, I'm doing a quick follow-up with you. We got an inquiry that someone in your home requested a value update on your home. Was that you by chance?
No, huh?
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm going to be in your neighborhood anyways. I've already prepared it. I'll just drop it off. Maybe you'll be there. Was it maybe your wife, do you know? Or was it – so because it definitely wasn't you, right?
No, it wasn't me. I mean, I guess it could have been my wife. I don't know why she'd be peeking at the value of our home. I'll have to ask her, but yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you know what? Some people just get curious. You never know. But well, since I have you, are you guys thinking about selling by any chance? by any random chance?
I mean, we've tossed around the idea. I mean, we've been here for about 5 years, and yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point where, we might be thinking about switching school districts for the kids. They do need. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a school across town that has more steel reinforced flooring, and we feel that that's very important in their lives. And so, yeah, we've been thinking about it, just tossing around the idea. We haven't really looked at anything, but I don't know. Maybe my wife got on and was looking at houses. I have no idea.
Okay, not a problem, man. I'll swing on by, drop it off. If you're there, I'll be able to put a face with a name, man. That's awesome. I'll see you in a bit. Cool. By the way, Mitch Bonner's here, dude. That's my cousin. What up, homie?
Oh, nice.
Fire captain. He's a fire captain down in Bakersfield. So he's watching probably with his firehouse. Probably they're all laughing their asses off at us.
That's right.
But so here's the reason. Here's that script and why it's so powerful. Because when you can use it for divorce situations or anything else that's cold like that, you just say, "Hi, someone in the home." It looks as if someone in the home requested a value update on your value on your home. Was that you? In divorces, if Matt talks was at the door on the phone, no, it's probably my bitch of a soon-to-be ex-wife.
Right.
Ooh. Or no, it's my dick of an ex-husband or a dick of a husband. And it because you can't lose on that script, because no matter what, no one requested shit, but you're just saying that someone did. Making the introduction, inserting yourself into their life, and then having a conversation with them. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. Like, when you do this, you can say, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I had a friend that went through a divorce. That sucks, man. My apologies. Do you think you're going to need to sell the home? Are you guys going to keep it, or what were your thoughts there?" You begin the conversation. You begin by bringing value. You begin by being empathetic with them and their situation. And that's how I would get through to a lot of people, is by going and just saying, "Hey, someone in the home, I think someone in the home decided to get a value update." And that's the script. Matt, what was the company that does the divorce listings?
Rebo Gateway.
Rebo Gateway. I ran into our connection at Rebo Gateway down in last year, actually, Matt, in San Diego. And he and I were laughing because the people that would walk up to a house or make a call and be like, "Hi, Matt. Hi, I'm Greg with the McDaniel Callahan real estate team. I understand you guys are getting a divorce. Would you like some real estate help?" Stupid. Wow. Stupid. Don't do that. Because they're already going through a painful thing in life. They're like, "Hi, are you getting fucked over? Was your wife banging the mailman?" Oh, bummer. Man. I mean, not even the pool boy, Matt. Not even the pool boy.
Yeah.
Had to be the mailman.
That's right.
Fucker delivers.
The Cavs.
Well, you know their motto. They always deliver. So
that's right. All right. So let's finish out with this question. This is from Ian Simmons. Any agent using Google AdWords can share your experience. Any details would be helpful. The best one, the best example of that is Jeff Cohn up in Omaha. So he's got 100,000, 200,000 calls worth of experience and 3 or 4 years of running Google AdWords at a high level. The bottom line is this. You need to be running it to a website that either goes to a squeeze page or goes to a forced registration that forces them to create an account on your website, including their phone number as like the password or something like that. Speed to lead, you have to get it to it within nowadays like 2 minutes. Forget 5, 2 minutes. And then from there, it's about relentless, consistent follow-up, which means if you're doing it for yourself, you shouldn't be, number one. Jeff has repeated that many times. Like if you're a single agent, don't even mess with that. So we're only talking about at the team leader level. If you're expected to provide agents with leads, Google AdWords is a good way to go. But if you're a single agent, focus on prospecting in your sphere. Don't get into the lead gen, like online lead gen game. It takes too long, 6 months minimum for those leads to start to pop, and 150 dials per deal. 150 dials. Now that's not connects, it's dials, but still, that's a lot of dials to get one of those leads to turn. So just keep that in mind. So it is what it is. The best team leaders around the country have figured out how to make it work for them, and it's a pillar of their business. Most single agents do not have what it takes, do not have the patience, do not have the discipline to hold themselves accountable to actually make internet, like pure internet lead gen work for them at like a solo agent level.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be doing lead gen, guys, I mean, look, Matt and I talk about this group a lot, but we talk about Rockstar Connect. If you guys legitimately want, to start building a database, go hire Rockstar Connect so that you have the opportunity to start building those interpersonal relationships. And they'll throw a party for you every month like they do for me. You just show up and you just interact with people, and you collect business cards from local business people. Then you go out to have coffee or drinks with them or lunches with them throughout the next month, whoever came, as many as you can. You build the relationship. You build the referral army. You also use Coop Out, COUPOUT.com, Coop Out. It's like $30 a month. You go build business relationships with the local businesses, help promote their businesses. One of my clients, Ryan, he and his wife, Monica, they started using it. It's been phenomenal. It's so simple to do. And the guy who started Coop Out would get about one referral a year per business. And I'm sure that's will radically change, because if you're doing a networking event and you're also using Coop Out, and then if you can create coupons for the people that come to your events and the location that you're going to, and then go out into the wild, vast, world out there and go get lunches or pop by other businesses and just say, hey, I want to grow your business. How can I help you? This is what I offer. The cost is $0. Would you be interested? And if they say no, just walk out and never come to them again, because they're business morons and you don't want to support an idiot.
Yes, agreed.
But I mean, if they see the value, like, oh God, yeah. So then work with them. Say, okay, how about I put $10 behind it, and you put $10 behind it, and we'll do it for 3 days. So each of us will put $30 behind it, and we'll be able to push it out to your sphere and my sphere, and we'll get a whole lot of buzz around your business. If they get one sale from you just reaching out to them, and every time you relaunch that coupon for them out into the internet or out to the Facebook or whatever else, they get notified that you did it again. So it's another touch going, hey, look, you're helping me again. Law of reciprocity comes in. That's where you can get business now. Do this now, and in 90 days, you will have a stream of business more than you do now. I mean, start the Rockstar Connect, do the Coop Out, get business. Drop mic.
All right. Let's finish out with this. Anastasia says, how do you feel about open houses on weekdays? Are they successful? And if so, what time of the day would you suggest? Greg, what say you?
I'm sorry, I was reading a comment. She wants to know about open houses on what days?
Weekdays. No, instead of weekends.
Dude, just sit at any house you possibly can, whenever you possibly can. Set up signs all over town. If you get one person that comes through, freaking awesome. Here's the cool thing is that, let's say you're sitting at 123 Main Street, and they both work all day, and you're just like, hey, can I hold an open house for you? I'll be there all day. I'll leave at 5. I'll get there at 12. Guys, they have air conditioning. They have TV. They have internet. Go work there, because you're doing your job, but you're also getting marketing exposure with open house signs all over town during the middle of the day, which is not normal, which people look for. They're like, oh, what the fuck? There's an open house sign? Where is this? Down the rabbit hole they go. So I would do them consistently. You can do twilight things are always nice, but then people are going to expect wine and cheese. Then it gets into the whole thing of you serving alcohol and people drinking too much and driving. I personally stay away from any alcohol anywhere when it comes to anything for business. Just for liability issues, that's what I do. But that might not be you. That you might be, that might not. You might want to go the opposite direction with it. Dude, it's your business. Do whatever you want, right? Yeah. But I just say get out there as much as you possibly can. If you have the free time and there's either vacant homes or people will allow you into their listings to hold it open for them, shit, why not? I mean, you came to me and I knew that my client, I got permission from my clients to have an agent hold their house open all day long. Okay, you're giving my home exposure and I don't have to be there? Bing. Thumbs in the air. So, yeah, I would just go balls deep on it. Go ask everyone you possibly can. Someone's going to say yes to you. And some people are going to say, well, why are you wasting all your time at open houses? Okay, so let's think about this, genius. Would you rather sit in an office where you have zero opportunity for marketing, to the average to the open public, or go sit in a location, still do your job, and have signs out with your brand on them? Matt, what would you choose? Door A, no exposure. Door B, exposure.
I would choose to flee. I want to be a secret agent that nobody knows about.
No kidding.
All right. Here's what I would do. I don't know about the all day thing, although I see your point, which is if you're going to be working, you might as well working from house. But I do like the compressed time frames idea.
You can.
and kind of bring in the Australian flavor, as our buddy Glenn Twiddle would say, and doing something from like 5 to 5:30 or like 6 to 6:30, something like that, depending on when people tend to get home in the neighborhood. Like I would want to do an open house on a weekday in a neighborhood, like on a Thursday, when people are, it's not Friday, they're not immediately going out to dinner with their families, but they're in more of a weekend mode. They're not so exhausted. They're looking forward to the weekend. Same reason why most of the Rockstar Connect events are on Thursday nights, right? So the psychology of a Thursday is good. And I would want to do it like for a half hour, 45 minutes, right when people are getting home from the neighborhood. So you can say, look, stop by the house on the way home. Then I would do you could do door knocking before and after, like when you're out setting up your signs. If you want to set your sign up on the end of a corner, you door knock every door between now and there. And you say, hey, I'm just setting up my signs. I'm going to hold a short open house at our listing down the road. Would love to have you pop round and stop by if you can. Pop round. Would love to have you pop round at 5:30.
But Matt,
it's just for a half hour.
A pop around is much different than a reach around, and you've got to make sure that everyone knows this because shit can get weird.
I think people need to know that, but thank you for contributing. That's a very valuable contribution to this rant. So anyway, that would be my vote, is hold a very short time frame open house, door knock on both sides, get as many signs out there, and make sure the signs are out there essentially during when people are getting home. Put as many up as you can, door knock the whole way while you're putting them up, and then do the exact same thing when you shut it down. Go grab your signs, door knock on the way back. Just say, hey, happen to be, in the neighborhood. I didn't get a chance to come around, earlier before we had the open house. I just want to let you know that I have a listing down the street. We just had a few buyers stop by, so I know we've got some interest in it. If you know of anybody you'd love to have, be your neighbor, any friends or family that you'd love to have move into the neighborhood with you, please tell them about the listing. And you're welcome to stop by. I'm going to go hold in the next open house X, next Thursday or whatever. Yeah, so that's what I would do.
If you want to get some of those, some more ideas about, kind of those compressed time frames, and I think that's a really good thing to look at as well. You can also take a look at our buddy Ray Wood. I was just on his podcast the other day. He's listening to us right now. His podcast is Top Agents Playbook. He is an Aussie down with the Glenn Twiddle. So, if you want to pick up some more good ideas, it's another phenomenal podcast to go take a look at. And they have it's really cool to see how Australia and the U.S. We're so similar, but yet we're so different. Mm-hmm. I think that you can get a lot of ideas that you can bring into your workspace that you would never have thought of before, that Australia does on a consistent basis. I mean, Matt and I, we were down there, and what was his name? One of those top agents that Glenn brought in, he did something like 21 open houses in one day, guys. Mm-hmm. Now, he has a team, don't get me wrong, but they do 1 hour to 1.5 hour open houses. That's it. And some of them even do 30-minute open houses. This is the time it's open, 1 to 1:30. Boom, lock the door, we out. And you have a whole system, people taking down the signs, putting up the signs. The homeowners are a part of this. They keep they have the house ready to go for you, all kinds of stuff. But, I mean, we all thought it was crazy. We're like, you did how many open houses in one day? And it is so normal to them. They're like, why would you sit at one open house? Are you an idiot?
Yeah.
Matt and I are going.
And they look at us like we're insane. Like, why would you sit in one open house for 4 hours? I'm like, because that's what people told us to do. We're sorry.
Sorry, don't hit us again, please.
Yeah.
But yeah,
please don't make me feel bad, sir. Oh man.
Matt, we should really. I'm glad we don't take ourselves too seriously, because otherwise it'd be so fucking stuffy and boring.
Yes, that would be horrible.
But yeah, go take a look at Ray. He just posted here, guys, his link to his podcast. Go take a look at it. Good shit. If you don't know who Glenn Twiddle is, you've been under a fucking rock. Go check him out. And he's like Tom Ferry of Australia. He's epic, man. And he's one of those guys that will give the shirt off his back to you, like that. He'll give you information. He and Naomi, they got epic ways of thinking about things. One of my favorite comments, Matt, that I heard when we were down in Australia is, all of our marketing is becoming incestuous, because because if you do it the same way for so long, they all look the same. It all blends together. It's going to be a very shitty bloodline. So, step out, be a little bit different. Matt, I'm going to actually reach out to Steve Sims, the author of Blue Fishing, and talk about how to be ugly in marketing and how to stand out, and some of the small tips and tricks that they have in this book. Like everyone knows, no, I do not read books. I'm dyslexic. It's a real big pain in the ass to read, which Matt always picks on my weakness for, which I still am going through therapy for. But he's shaking his head. I have the Bluefishing book hard copy because I like that book so much. There's so many little nuggets of wisdom in that book, because at the end of every chapter, they bullet point and summarize what he pulled out of it. And then you can just, if you took one of those things in that book and put it into action in your business, visibility, relationship building, all kinds of epic shit. And then we use send out cards, what they're doing, like $98 a month, as many cards as you want, unlimited. Whoo, that is awesome sauce right there. So, I mean, I don't know why I want to rant. But.
I don't know either.
Well,
Hello. There we go. I think we're back.
Hello, Clarice. Lotion on the skin.
All right. Let's close out. Greg, remind people of why they should get in touch with you and how.
Guys, I'm not fucking around. If we have brought value to you and you are thinking about EXP, I need you to go to what's on the screen in front of you right now, or what you're listening to. Go to bookmcdaniel.com, book 30 minutes with me. Let's see if EXP is the right fit. I'll show you everything that our team is going to give you on the back end. We got a big Kim Kardashian back end that's going to bring a lot of value to you on top of everything that EXP is already going to deliver for you. And no joke, you get to do one-on-one coaching with me. We send out a link every Monday. I have 4 slots every week that we can fill with coaching. I don't care if you take all 4, as long as it's something that's valuable. We're not just chit-chatting and chewing the fat. We're actually, talking over content. Don't actually take all 4. That's rude. But, I mean, other people need to get coaching too. Matt's building a podcast product that's soon to be finished, that you can take all your Facebook Lives, create your own podcast, create your own platform, and you get your, people will come to you. I'm going to put 50 people, our teams will help put 50 people or more on your team in the next 5 years or less. I mean, and then those people are going to put people on your exponential explosion. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to give me hugs. I'm going to get Christmas cards. It's going to be fantastic. We should really do this. Matt. But yeah, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Let's spend some time together. Let's snuggle up and see if this is going to be a good fit for us.
Yeah. All right, bookmcdaniel.com.
He's so bewildered. Just like,
I don't even know.
What is going on here?
That's right. All right, guys. So speaking of, one of the benefits that you get when you join up with the team is you get to plug into Jeff Cohn, who we mentioned earlier. He broadcasts all of his live trainings from his 50,000 square foot office in Omaha. If you are not looking, if you don't end up switching over to our team, you still can plug into that training for $17 a month, which is ridiculously low for 2 hours of super high quality, high def audio, high def video, interactive training content. So if you are an agent looking to get more training, or you're a team leader looking to provide training to your agents and you don't have the funds to go out and either hire like a sales manager type person to deliver that, this is a great solution for that. So go to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on live stream. You can learn more about it. You can see all the topics. You can actually see previous episodes and broadcasts. You can see the quality level that they're doing. You can see all the topics they're going to cover throughout the year. All that good stuff is there at eliterealestatesystems.com. So I want to make mention of that, and then WiseHire. So if you have or you're looking to build a team and you want to send people down a very easy path from you putting, writing up an ad with their recommendations on what works that gets posted to all the job boards that then runs them through a disc profile assessment that you don't have to worry about. It's all built into the system. And then WiseHire spits out a recommendation on, hey, this is a good person to talk to based on the fit and the role that you're looking for your real estate team. If you want that kind of thing to help you grow your team, go to WiseHire. That is a phenomenal, phenomenal product, and it's developed and founded by the guy that literally wrote the DISC assessment that you see on Tony Robbins' website, which is what a lot of us have taken. And so that really is going right to the source and using the DISC to sort out exactly who you should be hiring for your real estate team. So with that being said, Gregory, dyslexic ass, let's put a nice black bow on this one. How about that? Nice black bow. Yes, a nice bow tie.
So we'll put a black bow on.
Not this classic
bow tie.
A bow tie.
Classic. Okay, so we're going. A bow tie.
We're putting
yes. Bow tie.
Last time
All
we
right,
put
guys.
a lime green bow on this. Let's put a nice classy black bow on this one.
Black bow it is. Guys, look, Matt and I obviously love you. I mean, we're doing this for over 3 years. You know, once you guys deposit, $50 million in each of our bank accounts, we're going to go live 5 days a week. So it's really up to you how long until you want us to go 5 days a week live with you guys. It's right. Cursory $50 million each. Only 100 mil. Only 100 mil.
Right. Very doable.
So, on all honesty, guys, share the show, put it out to people who might need it. Don't hide us away. Don't squirrel us away. Just for yourself. I've actually had some people tell me that they do that. I'm like, no, share. Your mother didn't teach you right if you're not sharing. And just know that you guys, we're going to keep coming out here. We're going to keep giving you guys love. We're going to keep showing you content. We're going to get some amazing new guests on here that we've never seen, that you guys have never seen before. I got a lot of people in mind, and you guys are going to have some epic content coming your way. So I love you. Go to bookmcdaniel.com, book 30 minutes with me. And Matt, as always, peace out, ninjas!